Om Shri Sai Ram, Prema Vahini by Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Chapter 3, The Need for Sanatana Vidya. Have not men trained themselves all these years in countless arts and sciences? Have they not devised countless machines? Have they not accumulated vast tomes of knowledge? Nevertheless, man has not attained peace of mind, which is so essential for happiness. Instead, with every passing day, this Vidya or learning is dragging man further and further into deep waters, and peace is receding more and more into the distance. The reason for this can be stated thus: these arts and sciences have only transitory value. These machines cater to worldly comfort. This knowledge is all about temporary and transitory things. This Vidya does not reveal to one the innermost secret of the universe. There is one secret which is known. There is one secret which, if known, lays bare all secrets. There is one puzzle which, if solved, all puzzles are solved. There is one knot which, if unravelled, all knots are unravelled. There is one science which, if mastered, all sciences are mastered. That key science has to be studied. That is Sanatana Vidya or ancient wisdom. If a tree is to be destroyed, its taproot has to be cut. There is no use in plucking off its leaves one by one. It takes too long a time, neither will it yield any profit. The Vedic rishis or the seers had discovered this fundamental basic science, but alas, Indians are now ashamed even to own today's educational skills. Indians are now ashamed even to own them as their kith and kin. These ancestors of ours, by their ascetic observances, had the vision of God and won His grace. They expounded the Sanatana Vidya and the significance of spiritual practices such as penance, which they so boldly discovered by His grace. Seekers of other countries studied these ancient books on Sanatana Vidya and wrote their opinion thus: India blazes a trail to the rest of the world for Ehika Mushika Sadhana Samati, the means of attaining the highest spiritual treasure of this world and the other worlds. Such appreciation showered on India is a fact well known to many. The lamp illumines the house, but just at the very foot of the lamppost there lurks a dark shadow. Indians are not knowing or caring for the treasure of illumination, but are lurking in the shadow. Can we ascribe this to the play of fate and keep quiet? In former days, our fathers and grandfathers performed their daily rites, sat in a purified place surrounded by a sacred atmosphere, and immersed themselves in the study and the practice of the teachings of the Vedas and the Upanishads. Besides, they wrote down their experiences to bring them again into memory, and also in a spirit of service to guide others. Later, those who came after placed those books on the altar and duly worshipped them. But these sacred books have been lately so neglected by the present generation that rats have eaten into them, the palm leaves have disintegrated into dust, and they have been discarded as useless lumber without realizing their value. This lumber, however, is being assiduously examined by scholars of other countries, realizing that it enshrines incomparable sources of illumination and priceless pearls of divine wisdom, They lift it reverentially onto their heads and acclaim it as the precious gift of Bharat Khanda or the Bharat continent to themselves and their children. They carry it across the seas with joy in their eyes and thankfulness in their hearts. Now, shall I reveal that the children of India, who are the deserving candidates of such treasure, are doing? They neither open the pages of these books, nor hear of their contents, nor even think about them. If one person in 10 million just reads them, they heap foul abuse on him as a fool and a crank. They condemn these as a tissue of lies and legends and argue about the historicity of their authors. They dismiss the sacred and divine language, Sanskrit, as very difficult to study and hand it over willingly to the people of other countries. What a sad spectacle is this. It would have been some consolation if they study at least their mother tongues well, but even this they do not. If such is the case, when will they study the scriptures and learn? When will they experience happiness? When will they unravel the secret of the universe? Permanent happiness is only one, but not two. Focus must be only on that. No, I do not condemn worldly happiness. I only feel glad when people are happy. But please do not for a moment believe that such happiness is permanent. I also like your studying all these various arts and sciences for acquiring worldly happiness. But I want everyone to remember that this happiness is not everlasting. Study the scriptures, the Upanishads. Permanent happiness can be secured only through one Vidya, the Upanishad Vidya, the science of God realization, the teachings of the Maharishis. Have that always in view. That alone can vouchsafe peace to man and save him. There is nothing higher than that. This is an indisputable fact. Whatever be your joys and sorrows, whatever be the subject in which you have specialized in for a living, your eyes must be constantly riveted on Brahman, the absolute reality. By today's educational skills, if intelligence alone is sharpened without the development and exercise of virtues, and if mere information is stored in the brain, the world's progress will be hindered and its welfare endangered. But the children of today do not have a strong hold on virtues, for the present educational system does not assign any place for spiritual teaching or training. Boys, girls, women, and men all must adopt an education that does not mar their sacred, strong, and beautiful character. That alone is said to be true education, and not just filling the brains of students with multifarious junk collected from everywhere. Spiritual education alone is real and beneficial, which gives full scope for the blossoming of all the virtues which distinguish man. The objective world is not real. Actually, men see the shadow and take it to be the real substance. They see length, breadth, height, and thickness, and they jumped to conclusion that they have an object before them. They are mistaking the vikaras or the changing modifications of an object for the actual object, and this mistaking of appearance for reality is called jnana. How can it ever be jnana? Can an image of a person ever be he? If the image is taken to be he, Can we call it knowledge? But such is the nature of all knowledge we have, of all objects. It is all a delusion. What we cognized as an object is not its reality. The Advaitin or the non-dualist believes that Atma or Self is Parabrahman, the absolute Brahman. He knows that he himself is Brahman or the Supreme Self. He declares, Aham Brahma Asmi. How has he acquired that belief? Why does he state so? Ask him, and the reply is, the Shruti declares so. The Guru taught like that, but understanding it from these sources cannot give him the sanction to repeat that profound statement. If a person understands these three words, Aham, I am, Brahma, the absolute pure consciousness, divine self, and Asmi, the process of merging union. Does he attain unity with Brahman? No. Ceaseless striving, countless births, and loyal performance of the duties imposed by the scriptures lead to purity of the mind and the development of vairagya or renunciation. In the heart thus prepared, the seeds of devotion sprout, and when tended with constant attention and care, flowers bloom, fruits appear and ripen and get filled with sweetness and fragrance. When this fruit is eaten and digested, then only can man become one with the supreme power which permeates all things, which pervades all regions, which defies all description, and which is eternally present in all creation. A person may know the spelling and meaning of the mantra Aham Brahma Asmi correctly. His etymology may be perfect, but when he is ignorant of what is meant by world, unaware of what is meant by I, and have not grasped an iota of what is meant by Brahman, can he ever attain the state of Parama Jnana, the highest wisdom, highest bliss? It is not mastery of words and their meanings that counts. It is awareness, experience. These are the fundamentals. From the knowledge of the pot, it is impossible to separate the knowledge of the mud. But the mud alone is real. The name and form of the pot are superimpositions on the mud. The pot consciousness is born of the ignorance of the mud, which is the basis of the pot. How can a pot exist without mud? How can effect exist apart from cause? The world appears as a multiplicity of objects only to the eye of ignorance. To a Jnani or Brahman alone, upon which all else is superimposed, exists. This Atma alone is cognized by him to the exclusion of all else. This is the Advaitic or non-dualistic experience. If the visible world is real, it must be cognized even during the stage of dreamless, deep sleep. But we are not conscious of it even to the slightest extent. So, the visible world is as unreal as the dream world. Just as through illusion a snake is imposed on a rope, the world too is imposed through Maya or delusion on Brahman, Supreme Self. The snake and the rope are not seen separately. The entire rope is imagined as a snake, but the rope is not a snake. So too, Brahman is all this world, all this multiplicity of name and form. But this imaginatively conceived prapancha or the world is basically false. Brahman alone is true. The sky is apparent in a pot of toddy, but the toddy does not defile it. Similarly, in this vehicle of the body is the indwelling Atman, pure and undefiled. The fruits of karma or action, good or bad, adhere to the linga deha or the subtle or corporeal body and not the indweller, the Atma. When this jnana dawns in man, the darkness of all the three types of karma, the agami, the sanchita, and even the prarabdha karma, flees before it. Yes, even prarabdha karma can be overcome because the will of God is omnipotent, and for omnipotence there can be no limit or exception. When the aspirant is capable of sadhana or spiritual practice enough to win the sankalpa of the Lord, can he not with the same help achieve victory over prarabdha karma also? So, do not be discouraged. With the Lord's grace, prarabdha can be overcome. The suffering and travail of this visible world are, as stated above, illusory and transitory. With your mind firmly fixed on this fact, set out bravely on the path of devotional sadhana to win the grace, to win the divine grace. Jai Sai Ram.
Saishwaraya vidmahe Sathya Devaya dhimahi Tanna sarva prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya vidmahe Sathya Devaya dhimahi Tanna sarva prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya vidmahe Sathya Devaya dhimahi Tanna sarva prachodayat. Om